Intelligent, insightful, smart. These are words other podcasts use to describe themselves, not us. This is Fairly Harmless, where missing the point is only the beginning. With musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns. East Coast Funk. Please enjoy Andrew and James.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and
this is James.
And we are Fairly Harmless. It was almost. Which one? One of us is going to say it. Let's do rock, paper, scissors to see.
Why are you smashing your hands? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, it's rock.
You don't just shake.
Okay, all right, we'll shake.
You fucker, you waited.
That's Spock. Spock beats everything. Sorry, that's rock, paper, scissors, lizard Spock.
Let's do it again. All right, paper on paper. The fuck do we do with that? We're gonna wrap a gift. Yeah. Ah, you beat me. It's been some time since we've talked. I've got one cranking new idea to discuss.
So, I've got some things I can share.
One of our listeners, and I can say that now because this person is a listener. We've now published the podcast. It's been out on the interwebs for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more.
I think about 2 weeks, a bit more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Said that they really laughed at the part where we said we were going to cut it out, and then we didn't cut it out.
Right.
They thought that was hilarious.
Right. Right.
So
yeah, I thought that too. I was like, yeah, this is great. But I was going to say I have. Where was it? I was going to.
What you going to hit me with?
It was some observations I had. Editing observations. So we recorded, I don't know, how many hours of content, James? At least
probably 10 to 15 hours.
10 to 15 hours. And we cut out
probably
a lot.
5.
For sure.
Probably 5 hours
for
anyway.
Sure. 5 hours. Some inappropriate discussions and comments, which got cut out.
Things that don't need to be brought up to the wider world.
And but there were also some other key observations that I had. The first one was we should not eat.
No. Nope. Eating. That's I'm almost thinking I shouldn't be drinking this coffee right here.
That's bad. Yep. Drinking is probably not great, but eating, wicked bad. Wicked bad.
Yep. The eating noises.
Yeah.
I couldn't do much about those.
I think the next one was chalk it up to inexperience. Talking into the mic is important.
Yes, talking into the mic is important.
Sitting,
it's important to see where your mouth is.
Right. Well, getting the microphone situated correctly in front of my face and my yak hole.
Is mine in front of my yak hole?
It is. It's perfect.
Yours looks pretty good from here.
Cool. Yeah. That's really important. We discovered
sound effects. Now, these are copyright-free sound effects. We purchased these sound effects.
Right.
So
right.
If anybody comes after us, I have the receipt.
Yeah, we got the receipt, motherfucker.
So, Fairly Harmless. We got to put that in there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Maybe we should put that in there at some point. I don't know where in the.
I just came up with another. Hit it again. Fairly Harmless, always on target.
Wait, but we're never on target.
But never a bullseye.
But isn't target a bullseye?
Not necessarily.
Okay, name me a target in life where there's not a fucking bullseye.
So Robin Hood
shooting a body. Well, I got him in the leg.
Robin Hood is shooting for the bullseye, but we're not. We're shooting way off target.
But you just said always on target. You should have said never on target, like the fucking website says. I'm going to pull it up right now.
But never on target is on target. Subtle.
See, look at that. Look at that. Right there on the website. It says never on target. So I'm going to hit it again.
Fairly Harmless. Never on target. Now with the great taste of fish.
Now with more fish taste. Let's see some of these others.
Run, James, run.
That's like a 70s intro to a Mission Impossible show or something like that.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
And now I want to start singing that theme. But since we just had a fairly in-depth,
very in-depth discussion about where this podcast is going.
Well, discussion. This last observation that I have down here is, I have taken care of this time, which is more caffeine.
Very good. Oh, so that you're saying that as a general, we need like a sign up on this wall that says, "Have you had your caffeine yet?"
Right. Are you on? Are you up? If you're not,
get out.
Let us know. We'll get some caffeine in you. We have standards. They're not high, but we have some standards.
There's 2 words in the English language you can't use. One starts with a T and the other starts with a C. I got some observations of my own.
Do tell. Let's
I think I'm glad we went with a round table. I feel like you have less of a propensity to beat it with your mashers that are attached to your body.
Yeah, is it still arm flopping around and all over the place? But I'm just not aware of it.
It don't seem to be. I don't know why, but
I think some of it was the reaching for the food.
Yep.
I think it might have been Odessa. It could have been one of our other quote unquote friends who said, "I'm not sure if it's high art. You guys sound like monkeys to me." And I said,
that's a compliment, I think.
If you think of us as monkeys, this is high art.
Right. It's art in the most prehistoric sense.
That's great.
I mean, before there was a skyscraper, there had to be a hill made out of dirt.
That's
man.
right. And
it's just because we're late to the party doesn't mean we weren't coming.
mostly unrelated, but it reminds of the phrase that you came up with at some point, pulling the taffy of the English language. What a great fucking phrase. That's awesome, James.
That's going to be our tagline when we finally get enough money to actually produce something that's of physical value.
Fairly harmless, missing the target while pulling the taffy of the English language.
Right.
I do have a testimonial. This is from Ed. It says, "I think you're funny, but you are idiots." Yeah, here's another one. I have been accused of not getting to the point.
That's the whole fucking point. What are these people talking about?
Telling a story, taking the most circuitous long-distance route to get to the end of the story. And I think that the listeners, if we have repeat listeners,
we don't,
will agree if they continue to listen, the 1 or 2 that may. I have observed, I guess this is another editing observation. The meandering stories are not my fault because you
interrupt the shit out of you.
Right. And you change the subject every fucking 8 seconds.
Right. But I'm not doing that right now. Have you noticed?
It's a shocker. I mean, has God come down and touch you? Have you had a talk with somebody?
Somebody's touched me. I don't know. I'm touched by an angel.
Touched by an angel. I was going to say that leads to another editing observation, which is, so the meandering stories are not my fault. I mean, maybe they are, but...
Oh, they're definitely your fault. Getting to the point is not your fault.
Is right. That's your fault.
All right. My fault is you can't get there. It's like when you're in a dream and you're trying to get somewhere, but you can't quite get there.
Right. It's because James is holding me back.
Right. I'm holding you back.
You're holding me back.
But the reason is because your stories
are hilarious.
They're hilarious, but if I let you just get to the point, we'd have a 5-minute fucking podcast. Who wants to listen to that?
I suppose so.
And there was Andrew with his 5-minute podcast, 5-minute abs.
Okay. Here we go. This is a key one. I've got a new name for you.
Oh, yeah?
It's called the Velvet Steamroller.
Is that like the Velveteen Rabbit?
I don't know. Velveteen is some sort of cloth. I think.
It is.
It sounds dirty, but it's not.
The Velveteen Rabbit?
Does it sound dirty to you?
The Velvet Steamroller?
No, the Velveteen Rabbit.
No, that's a book from my childhood.
No, I know, but I mean Velveteen. It sounds like
It sounds like Ovaltine.
Yeah, it sounds like Ovaltine.
The Ovaltine Rabbit.
It's like dirty Ovaltine. How would you like this dirty rabbit?
How about this decoder ring?
No, you're the Velvet Steamroller because I'm going along, I'm telling a story, and boom, you just come in with your sweet...
Dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones. That's how I always hear it. Not a word, but...
Well, That's what I'm good at. I mean, I'm good at making up words.
Maybe that's right. You're pulling the taffy of the English language.
When you're pulling the taffy, you have to put in the wrong characters and syllables. You got to do it. These words aren't going to say themselves.
I think you're also using Sanskrit, but I'm not sure because who knows? And I say Velvet Steamroller because I can't remember which episode it is, but we're having a discussion about the unchanging world in which I grew up in, which was reflected in the World Book. And my sister Gretchen said, "No, Andrew, don't you remember? It wasn't World Book.
It was Britannica.
It was Britannica. How did you know?"
We were on the same text message. We were on the thread.
That's right. That's right.
We were on the thread together.
It was Britannica, and I thought, yeah, I knew, but I couldn't.
She said something about how your mother used to listen to Cracklin' Rosie or something and loved it. It was freaking
by Neil
Diamond.
Neil Diamond, and I listened to it. Not so great.
And you were like, "This is garbage." And Gretchen was like, "Mom used to listen to that all the time. She's rolling in her grave."
She did not say that. You're a piece of shit.
I need to come up with a name for you somehow. I don't know. Needs to come up with a nickname for you. You need to go back to whoever the fuck that was and ask them.
Velvet Steamroller?
Yeah, whoever gave you that one.
I came up with that of my own accord.
Of your own accord?
Heck fire.
Shit.
I'm really looking forward to doing, we talked about it in one of the episodes, What's in the Box. I'll have to listen again, but I'm pretty sure I can meet all of the rules that you laid down for what can be in the box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, it can't be motor oil and it can't be, creatures like
ants
or worms or tarantulas, which I'm all down with that too. This first idea I have is going to be great. Have we talked about merchandising ideas?
No, but I'll tell you, that box looks so fucking high tech.
Hey, it's pretty high tech.
That's an Etsy box.
It's made of carbon nanofibers.
Or eBay. That came from eBay. A piece of junk that I had to immediately throw away. Once again, I didn't return the item because the last time it was such a hassle. I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this in the trash. I'm going to deal with trying to get my money back.
The most recent episode was at number 5, Mystic Pizza.
I think Mystic Pizza is number 6. Let's check.
In terms of ranking, it's either episode what would be episode 5, maybe number 1 for me.
Oh yeah, I can see for miles.
Yeah,
that was a great fucking episode. It really was, man.
In our friendship, I often think of myself as a bad cop dick, and then I listen to this episode, and I don't feel that way anymore. The hurtful shitting on Andrew that I just experienced. Funny, definitely funny. It's a good thing that I have grown as much as I have in the last 6 years or whatnot.
That's what this podcast is good for, personal growth.
It is. It is.
So what else you got for me, champ?
So, we've got we've talked about the standard merch ideas, magnets, apparel, coffee mugs.
Yeah.
But this, not saying we wouldn't.
Condoms?
Not condoms, although that is a great fucking idea.
That's a great fucking idea.
That's a great idea. We put the
Fairly Harmless.
That's right.
Think of all the fucking problems you could get with that.
Right. Yeah. If only they'd had these when James and Andrew were born.
Then none of this magic would have ever been.
Exactly. But it's my own half-baked idea.
I like it.
It would be a hat or a cap. I don't think a baseball cap would apparently be made of tinfoil with a small lightning rod.
I can see us getting fucking sued for this.
There would have to be a disclaimer that says, if you get struck by lightning, don't blame us. This is only for...
They're going to fucking blame us.
We'll make it out of wood, but we'll paint it...
Paint it silver.
Right, we'll paint it silver. I would wear that kind of hat. I would.
Maybe that's the problem here. I've been thinking we need professional people to do our stuff. Maybe instead we just make it ourselves.
I think this story or observation demonstrates the difference between you and I. We saw our friend.
He's from Ohio?
No, I don't know. Maybe he is.
He's got the same name as the scientist?
The scientist, my brother, the scientist.
Yes, I know your brother's name.
His first name.
No, his last name, you asshole.
The way you're saying it, you're like, well, I don't know. Is he from Ohio? I fucking don't know if he's from Ohio. Anyways, we saw him 2 weeks ago, and he said, dude, I tried to find your podcast, and I looked it up.
Oh, yeah. He is from Ohio.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
We'll just call him Mr. Ohio.
Mr. Ohio. Mr. Buckeye.
Mr. Buckeye. The Buckeye man.
So, Mr. Buckeye, let's just call him Buckeye. Or Buck.
We'll call him Buck.
Yeah.
Mr. Buck.
Mr. Buck. Mr. Buck says, I looked for your podcast and I couldn't find it, but I did find...
This is great.
A
podcast with your fucking name.
A podcast with your fucking name.
Your domain name.
But it's the two guys are John and Steve.
Right.
Do you know about John and Steve? And I was like,
no.
So there are two different responses, at least two different responses that you can make to that. You can be like me, and I said, who the fuck is that? Where do they live? Let's kick their ass. If possible. It'd be great if they lived.
How did they find out we were making a podcast?
It'd be great if they lived in the Raleigh area. Or you could be sensible like James is sometimes, and he says, oh, we're John and Steve.
Right. When I made that website, I didn't want to put up our real names.
Right. We don't want people to know who we are. Well, that's right. That's when you were really paranoid that you thought people would judge us for what we said. I love the episode where, jabber, 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 idiocy all the way through. And then in the finish, the last 30 seconds is, folks, I don't want James to die. I just want to be there when it happens.
Right. I like when you tell us you got to go do your fucking laundry.
That's right. That could become a thing. It's just, I'm tired of talking to you. I'm going to go home and do my laundry.
6 months and this is all you got for me?
I've got another great idea. I don't know how we would implement it, but I had an idea that we could have dueling engineers.
Like the scientist and some other engineer.
Right.
I know another engineer.
Woody.
So do you. Woody.
Right. I'll put
Woody
the scientist.
and scientist together would be excellent. Oh,
and
man. It would be the boringest shit ever.
I don't know about that. I think it could be pretty... The scientist, we need to get him on here.
We would have to have one person. We put the scientist on there and have Woody here in the room? Or would you want to do the reverse?
I don't know.
I mean, we could theoretically have 4 people. Maybe 5 if we cut our cards right. We'd have to get yet another microphone set up, which would incur money, which certain people don't like to spend.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not necessary. But, maybe we'll... have the scientist come in remote and have Woody here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you like that idea.
That's a great fucking idea. You keep that idea at the forefront. We have to have number 2 and Fast Steady over here. Those two can argue about sports. And
you and I can jump in and interject important ideas. Here's another one: terrible dad jokes with Schwa.
Yes.
I think he'd be all over that.
His life is the epitome of a bad dad joke. We got this fixed. We got a new one.
Well, wait. Have we recorded since we invested in this device?
Yes, we have recorded. Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah. We haven't. Sure. We haven't uploaded any because it's Schwa and episode 5, original episode 5.
Right.
Schwa. You were saying?
I was saying. First off, I need to learn how to run the friggin' mixing board so I can be the jackass on the sounds.
This is going to work great opposite Mystic Pizza because Mystic Pizza is where we have the soundboard you can't fucking hear. So.
Right. Yeah, I would have to mention it. Leave in a couple, but don't leave in 12 minutes.
Yeah, I left in 10 minutes. I'm like, I was listening to the episode. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Nobody's going to want to listen to it after this.
Right. I was listening to that and I thought, you know what?
I got to fast forward through this crap.
I cut out so much out of what became Marco. I mean, a lot.
I was in a rush to get out the door. It was just not good.
Right. Yeah.
It was bad.
But
I'm so embarrassed.
yeah. So I had an observation. I think it was last week. I don't know why last week is any different from this week, but you looked like, I can't quite find the exact same thing, but part of you looks like the guy. Did you ever play the game Operation?
Yes.
Yeah. If he put a mustache and a cheesy beard on him,
yeah,
that would fucking be you.
Oh, because of the haircut?
Because of the haircut.
I see.
But your haircut's a little bit better. But there was something, I swear there's something out there. I need to find the game that's like a very unflattering image of you.
This is a game we're talking about?
I don't know. It could just be in my...
Boggle?
It's an image I have in my head.
This is retribution for you looking like Mr. Potato Head. I knew it. We're going down the game route.
That's
fucking shoots and ladders over here. Oh God.
Yeah, the only other thing I don't know that I'm quite ready for, although the movie review follow-up, I think
Magnolia. You love that fucking movie.
You know what? I really didn't until I saw Oppenheimer. And then I thought, this is a really much better film than I thought. At least it made
sense.
Sort of sense.
Right.
And
having looked back on it and not watched it in 30 years, it was not as good as I remember.
Do you think it was similar to...
Remember how excited I sounded like in the first and second episode? I was like,
so
man,
great.
we got to really watch that movie. You're going to love it.
It's awesome.
Kind of sucked.
And we're watching it and I'm just shitting all over the movie.
You're fucking relentless if I remember.
Yeah, let's hear your one great idea. What do you got over there?
This is the greatest idea ever. 2 things that need to come together. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And a late night activity with an early morning activity.
Masturbation and yoga?
No, close.
Close.
Strip clubs that offer breakfast. Like a strip club that's like an IHOP. Because you get the same kind of clientele at both.
Are you saying all of the servers are topless or
it's
nude?
like a Hooters, but it's serving breakfast.
Okay, but they're serving breakfast. Here's a great question. Are they serving... there won't be... would there be alcohol or no alcohol?
There could be alcohol, sure. There's alcohol at a strip club, and there's probably alcohol at most morning eateries. I know First Watch does it.
Right. Would there be... Yeah, okay. So would there be like juice shots off of...
Oh, that'd be great.
An actual...
juice shots?
Right. A real slippery nipple?
A real slippery nipple. That's right. There you go. And a side of waffles.
That's
right.
So I wonder what the VIP room has.
Wow. The VIP room in an IHOP is pretty big. Got a lot of chairs.
Is there a VIP? It's not. Well,
it's the room for large groups.
Right. So it'd be like a floor show for sure. Ooh.
Would they have poles in this IHOP is my question. Stripper poles.
I feel like there'd have to be some poles.
Yeah.
Or at least...
well, you know how like when you go to a Chili's, they do all that clapping for a birthday? Well,
is that where they do that stupid shit?
Yeah. So, they do it at TGI Fridays, but they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought
and Crabblebee's amazingly somehow made it, but TGI Fridays didn't. So that's amazing.
One of the first places that I think existed that was like that, there was a joint like that on the way to Atlanta called Fuddruckers.
There's still a Fuddruckers.
Is there a Fuddruckers?
Yeah, they still
Great
exist.
name.
Yeah.
Great name.
There was one in South Carolina. Love that place.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Big Daddy's that was around here but doesn't exist anymore.
Big Dad, not
Bad Daddies.
Not
this
Bad
was
Daddies.
Big Daddies.
Big Dad. That's
no,
Big
that
Daddies.
was Fat Daddies. Fat Daddies. Do you remember Fat Daddies?
I don't. They both sound like strip clubs, though.
No, but Fat Daddies had these humongous burgers. I think it was before you moved here, but
yeah,
it was. They put in a fucking Panera to replace it. But
that's terrible.
Fat Daddies was the best.
Yeah, there's a post. Oh, I see. It says 2015.
2015. It's been 1 year since we've closed our doors. Have you missed us?
Yes, we have.
400 likes to yes. Yeah, there's fat. They made some great food. I remember going there with Greg Jones. No, wait. It was pre Greg Jones, or maybe it was just around Greg Jones.
Greg Jones, and Greg Jones.
Greg Jones The triple trifecta.
The triple threat.
The triple threat.
Yeah, did you get the you got the picture I sent you about the baseball player?
Yes, the fourth Greg Jones, who probably not related.
The fourth?
Probably not related.
That's right. Yeah,
probably not related.
Probably not. You never know, though.
You never know, but probably not related. There probably none of them are really related. It's just like happened to be how Smith is a common name.
Right.
Apparently Jones.
Right.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Where have I heard that? Oh, fucking everywhere.
Hi, I'm Johnny Gupta. Nice to meet you. What? You don't like Johnny Gupta?
I don't know.
You know what? These are my cousins, Tom and Dick Gazinia. We're the Gazinia brothers.
That's all I got for you is one fucking idea.
That's a great idea. I think that's something we need to look into.
That hold some water though. Hold some orange juice.
I did have another great idea. Next on Fairly Harmless Answers. With Andrew and James.
What's a company secret you can now share since you no longer work there?
I don't want to share that secret about the company I used to work for.
How about the company I used to work for?
Oh.
The company that no longer exists. Now defunct.
Yeah, all that time you talked about it being a tax dodge.
Yeah, it turned out I wasn't wrong for once.
Exactly. Turns out you were correct.
Imagine that, me batting 1,000 on that one.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, you made great arguments repeatedly to me about why you didn't think this was a real business, and it turns out those were all accurate.
They could have given us more money. It didn't matter. Right. My salary was bullshit. I could have asked for $1 million.
Right.
The deep secret of your old company.
The livid yellow underbelly. Daylight Donuts.
Man, they had some deep underbelly.
They did.
It's funny. I went to a Daylight Donuts a couple of weeks ago, and
are there daylights around here?
There are. There's one up in North Raleigh, and
they're okay. They're not great.
Yeah, they're kind of like a Tim Hortons donut. Or
I've never been to Tim Hortons. Okay. I've heard it's borderline terrible.
It is. It's like a Tim Hortons donut. It's kind of like a duck donut, but a lot worse.
I thought duck donut was pretty good. You don't like duck donut?
I like duck donut. I'm saying that this donut, though, the kind of donut that it is it's like a baker's dozen donut, but imagine you left it in the trash for a couple hours. Then eat it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's hard. It's stale.
It's a little old. Yeah.
It's old when you get it. It's too hard to eat.
Right.
I'm at this Daylight Donuts.
Right.
And on the way in, I noticed the sign says something along the lines of, independently owned and operated,
Interesting.
And it said something to the tune of, manager who is on duty is the owner of this establishment. It's something along those lines where I was like, it was kind of like the person that you first interact with is the owner.
Right.
And I was like, as I'm like walking in the door. And so I get there, and the guy looks about 100 pounds more than me. I'm thinking, this guy knows donuts.
Right. James and I are big. We're working on being less big.
But yeah,
pretty
at the time,
big fellas.
Big fellas. Big. I learned at the breakfast.
More than you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He was pushing 5-6x. So.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this guy
knows donuts.
He knows donuts. Why? They're just not good donuts. They're not fluffy. They're like tough steak. There's nothing, and they're kind of flavorless, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, if you need a good donut in Raleigh, Baker's Dozen, you can't go wrong with. And then second only to Krispy Kreme.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this has been Andrew.
And this has been James.
And we are Fairly Harmless.
Once again, this has been Fairly Harmless. Missing the point on... Wait, what's the point? Our musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Their music is available for streaming and purchase on most media platforms. For Fairly Harmless, this has been your announcer, Fast Eddie. See you soon.